Adrift in their broken down space shuttle with little hope of rescue, two astronauts argue over whether they're better off spending their remaining days as friends or something more. And that's the story behind If You Were the Last, and is the first feature film for our very own South by Southwest director, Kristian Mercado.
Golf clap.
Go look at the camera right there. You can look at the go. Hi. With him today are the film stars. Please welcome Anthony Mackie and Zoe Chao, and the director, Kristian Mercado, to the South by Southwest studio. Welcome all.
Thanks for having us.
All right, you have roots, sir. We have roots. We've got to flex our South by.
Yeah, I love
you
South by.
You came here as a young man back in the day.
Yeah, a young filmmaker, hungry to tell the world about what he's feeling inside.
Oh boy, and here we go.
Oh, yeah.
It took half a day, but we got this.
Like Barbara Walter, I didn't even need to get to the tree question for the waterworks to start. But you came here for the stop motion animation. Nueva York, right?
Nueva Rico
was
a short that I did, a while back.
And you won.
Yeah, animation jury award winner. Yeah, it was a big moment in my life. For sure.
Can we at South by claim?
Oh, 100%.
That the big star, the big fancy director now with these two Hollywood stars.
That's the reason we're here. If he wouldn't have won that award, we've talked about it. If he wouldn't have won that award.
We're in your house. This is your house. This is your home.
You'll be sitting there like, did you win a South by Southwest award?
Wait a minute, who's this guy?
Are you sure?
Got one of those.
But now, congrats. First feature film, big deal.
Thank you.
Two stars.
I appreciate
You're here
it.
at South by Southwest. And you've described this movie. We did the research. Quote, I wanted this film to be a love letter, a tender place filled with laughter and joy.
Yeah, man. It is,
in space.
Yes.
So how'd you pitch this movie to the stars?
I think I was talking a lot about like real feelings is mostly what I think like for me a film doesn't really like function unless something is tethered to something real. And for me it was more at least this emotion of friendship and love and what that actually means, you know, and not like in a kind of like shallow sort of way, but like in a really rooted, deep way. And I think it shows through a lot in the performances because when you watch this film, you feel something, I think, you know, like
It's intimate.
Yeah, there's intimacy, and love is intimacy. Yeah. Oh no, I'm deep.
No.
I
mean, it's nice to hear that you feel something.
I mean, 2 minutes in, we're there. 2 minutes. Introduction. Bow, we're there.
Kristian comes. Here's this guy who wins an award at South by Southwest, stop motion. And he says, rom-com in space. Sign up. What made you hook into this story? Both of you.
Well, I read the script in summer of 2020, 5 months into the pandemic, and its thoughts on isolation and abandonment and loss and human resilience and hope really spoke to me. I felt like Jane and Adam were on a parallel journey to those of us, you know, on Earth navigating an insane period of time.
Past few years?
Yeah.
Even now?
Even now. And I just
want to go back into isolation.
And I just feel like, the movie's thesis that you can find love in like the most unexpected places and that you can grow that love against all odds really resonated with me. And then the fact that Chris was at the helm of this film. I mean, there's no one who loves love more than Chris. And
can you say that to the camera right now? That's it.
There's no one who loves love more than Chris Mercado. And he just brings such a pure, genuine energy and perspective to everything he does. And so, I think it's
a universal story, right? But high concept, but it's very pure in the sense that we've all played that game. All right. If the world was about to end, would we? And then which is a great hook for a movie, but it's set in space. And then Anthony, you know, your characters are allowed to kind of reveal that. Okay, this is reality. We're the last two in space together. We're getting along. But there's a tension in the movie. Should we be friends or should we be something more here? But just to play that, right? Because it's intimate, and you need to develop that arc and that emotion. I'm talking about just the prep. you have to find the right balance with the right partner, and it shows in the movie. That working relationship, how did you guys get to that point where you're like, we're comfortable with each other to explore this journey?
Well, one thing I'll say, there was no outside BS brought into the set. And every day it was like, yo, you look out for me, I'll look out for you.
No ego.
No ego, no craziness, no judgment. And there's so much that goes into finding someone who you can trust. And I felt like in this project, since the first day of rehearsal, there was like an element of fun and trust. And I can honestly say, I've never had that experience. And I think that's why it was so easy to do. Like, I mean, it was just an easygoing experience.
Because if y'all didn't get along.
If we didn't get along, and if we...
You should be nominated for awards then.
Well, our first conversation on Zoom was about, I mean, we bonded over the fact that our shared love for theater, which is just a common immediate language. But then also we were like talking about wood, and like
as one does.
He said he had gone to Providence, Rhode Island, which is where I'm from, to like find very specific wood.
Driftwood. I went to look for driftwood. I mean,
there's no shame. This
3x16 pegboard
for wood aficionados.
3x16 pegboards. Yo, your Instagram is gonna go crazy. 3x16 pegboards. They were made in Canada and drifted down the Hudson River to New York to build most of the townhouses in the meatpacking district.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I had no idea. And so you guys...
So a very interesting human being.
Super.
And
both of you
it was so fun. I mean, Chris trusted us from jump and was sort of like, here's the story and like, how do we find it together?
I couldn't make this movie without you guys and you guys being on board. And, you know, I feel like the set was kind of like you said, it's a fun place, but it was also like open and vulnerable. And it's like, you know, it wasn't like, we were collaborating. We were like, you know, we were like...
It was like theater.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was
like theater. And we also like needed each other the way you need someone when you're putting on a play.
And we would go out and have fun together. Like we would hang out together. Like it was, my favorite bar was 2 blocks from their crib. So it was just like, it was this thing of, you know, as vastly different as we are, you know, we were able to let that go and actually be vulnerable and be friends.
Yeah. And it shows in the movie too, right? Because you got 2 folks who are stuck together.
Yeah.
Thanks to tragedy and circumstance.
Totally.
And then you have to organically find love in this strange place in space.
Right.
Which is very much like the rest of us here on this blue marble called Earth. Right?
Yeah.
Sometimes the only way you survive in life is finding love. You know what I mean?
For many folks.
Yeah.
So if you're lucky enough.
And we're both lovers. Like I'm better at hiding it.
What about her?
Well, you know, girl love is different. Girl love is different, and you have to treat it different and acknowledge it different, right? We're both lovers. Like I'm good at hiding it. Like my love is punching you in the face.
I'm open.
His love is crying and kissing you.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not in love with you. So, you know, the idea of it was we bonded on love and experience. Like I really gravitated to his openness and emotion. You know? And it was really something that I want for myself that I'm not able to have.
Yeah, it's hard.
You know? And it's hard to put yourself out there, put your whole sleeve out there and say, deal with that. You know?
I think like when you're open, that like vulnerable, and this is true about love in general, and I think you see it in the film too, is that there's this feeling of the possibility of hurt happens more, you know?
Which is why people close down.
Yeah, because people might like, oh, will you reject me? Will you love me back? Do I tell you the right thing? And so many times there's missed connections or missed opportunities just based on the fear of that, you know? And I think the film really taps into that energy of how really precarious a relationship really is. Like it's just like a very, very fragile thing, you know?
Well, Zoe, I have to ask you about girl love.
Girl love is different. Girl love is different.
I didn't know girl love was different.
Girl love is different. Girl love is what makes the world go round.
Okay.
Is that like a Spice Girls vibe?
Agreement? Disagreement here?
I mean, I think love presents itself differently for every single person, you know, and like that's what's so. Yeah, I do.
This is the sequel right now.
But I think what our strength is as a team, and that what Chris maybe saw before we even saw, was that we are very different people, and that actually, I think, enhances the story because they didn't choose each other.
They're stuck.
They are stuck, and then they became each other's world, and their lives depended on each other. Their morale, their reason for living, hinged on the other person, and they got to know each other in the most intimate of ways over the course of 3 years. And so you see two people who started out as strangers become teammates, friends, confidants, and then move into this chapter of, is this romantic love? There's no doubt that there is love there, but like what kind
Something
of love?
more.
Yeah.
And you know, love is universal. It's messy. The reason why we look the way we do, different colors, is because people from different places fell in love and had babies. But but
they had more than babies.
Babies
Babies was the byproduct.
I mean,
they had fun.
I'm Puerto Rican, and that's mad true.
Yeah.
but you in Hollywood.
What are you saying?
That's not Puerto Rican. That's mad true. He was just saying like, oh yeah, this, that.
But that's what it is, right? But
Puerto Rican's
I thought you were saying something
Yeah,
completely
totally.
different. I was like, wow.
People like us never saw love represented on the screen.
Oh, 100%.
Totally.
And when I was growing up,
100%.
rom-com, white dude,
Oh,
white girl.
yeah.
And it's not lost upon me as a viewer
It's so important.
that the leads here, black man,
Thank you for saying
Asian American
that.
woman.
It's super important, man. Like we need to see more depictions of love from just like other communities and people of color. Like you know, like we can also feel like, you know, I feel like so much of our cinema, and it's important that some of it is explored, like our grief, but our joy also needs to be explored as well, you know, and like we deserve that, you know, like we deserve the opportunity to see love and joy
Tenderness.
and not have all our stories be rooted in just our pain, you know.
Trauma,
And then there's something different about, like, what excites me about this is it's a true independent film.
Yeah.
And the idea of independent film as opposed to studio films is you really get to see the nature of humanity and decency and true human honesty in independent film. Because you're hoping that everybody will accept it, but the possibility is everybody won't. When you're doing, you know, two people on a spaceship and they're in space and it costs $150 million, everybody got to accept it. Because you got $150 million in there.
You need a Skrull invasion.
You need a whole lot of people to
You
say,
might have
you
to
know
wear
what?
a costume, sir.
There it is.
You might have to be a Falcon. I'm just saying.
You know, the idea of independent film is something beautiful because it shows us the humanity and reality in which we live, as opposed to the humanity and reality in which is dictated to us.
And you know, we've talked about the Marvel phenomenon. Everyone, you know, you can't do stories like this anymore. You've heard about all the critiques, right? But here's a flip to that. Being Captain America, with the movie coming out soon, with part of this independent studio, Disney and Marvel.
Small, low budget.
Small,
feature.
low budget. But I see in your career, right? You do Marvel, and then you do Netflix movies and independent movies, science fiction, drama, theater. Go back to doing Captain America. Some people are saying it's the death of cinema, but for actors of color, has it allowed you to do the mainstream role, get the money, and then say, you know what? I'm not going to do this movie. Has it given you the opportunities to then do the movies that you otherwise would not have been able to do without Captain America?
I would say that I've been very fortunate. Hurt Locker was not a superhero movie. Half Nelson was not a superhero movie. My first movie, Brother to Brother, was not a superhero movie. They were all independent movies. Every step of my career has been benchmarked by an independent film. Now, the fact that I'm in the Marvel Universe has nothing to do with why I started this. I'm a fucking theater nerd.
He really
Respect for theater nerds.
I do plays. I just happen to like wearing spandex. So
if you do plays, you wear spandex.
And there's no guarantee that because I'm in a Marvel movie, every movie I make gonna make $100 million.
Yeah.
So certain things you got to do. Like when I first started in this career, my agent and my manager said, "Look, you know, you do one for them, and 2 for you.
Yeah.
So you find something that you like and you do, and then you go back and you do, Guy Meets the Moon. And that's just how I've done it and worked it, and it's worked for me. But for certain people, they only want to do Guy Meets the Moon, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Stay away from independent film. You don't have to prove yourself as anything other than what you want to be.
And the 1 for them, 2 for me, for those who aren't familiar with this lingo, is I'll do 1 for the studios, I'll do 1 for the box office receipts, I'll do 1 for the brand,
Right.
and then I'll earn that cred, and I'll use it to do 2 theater projects,
Right.
An independent movie.
Right.
I'll take the risks that I want as a creative.
Right, because the actors that I admire are very different. I mean, Stanley Tucci, Don Cheadle, like you have a list of actors.
Zoe Chao.
all day.
That's a given. That's a given.
Literally have those boots in an 11. I mean, it's just like, it's all about what you want it to be. Your career is what you want it to be, not what you think it should be because of somebody else.
Well, and it's funny because people ask, like, what was it like to work with Mackie? He's like such a movie star. And I'm like, he is. That is very evident when you are in his, or like when you see him on the green screen or the Video Village, you're like, that's a movie star.
Oh, yeah.
And
I
that's
don't even get
right.
free dinners.
But that's like, it turns out to be just a fraction of who he is. And the thing I think I've learned the most spending time with you is just how intentional he is about his work and the way he lives. And it's just really nice to see that modeled because there's an authenticity that you really lead with that was like an urgent reminder to me that I needed. Turns out I needed.
Well, that was lovely. Look at that. You got to give her
She's
a compliment.
so nice. She has a great
She's the best.
haircut.
She really is.
Oh,
The haircut is new.
that's.
We're about 3 weeks into the haircut.
We are about 3 weeks
We're about 3
into
weeks
this.
in, and
That's
all
Mackie
He
love.
digs that- he
That's
digs
Mackie
the
love.
haircut. Yeah.
I love that.
Speaking about intention, the music in the movie was intentional.
Oh, yeah.
And you're at South by, and we had folks see the movie, and they were like, "Yo, the songs, the
Fire.
remixes, right?
You feeling
Talk to us.
it?
Yeah, we all did.
We gotta get this on vinyl. We gotta get it waxed.
Talk to us about the music specifically
Gotta
for
get
this
it
story and
I
these
need
characters
that.
that you chose. Not Lionel Richie.
Can you repeat the question? Sorry, I didn't mean,
The intentional use of music for this particular movie.
Oh, I feel like I like earworms, like I like to feel like, I think like also music kind of can drive a story, and like I think that it gives you a mood and a place, and it almost felt like putting together like the album I Wish I Could. I gotta give a shout out to our music supervisor too, Meg Curry. She's amazing. She did a lot of help. She helped me find the tone, and Chris Bear also did some of the score, and I think like they understood what I was going for, which has kind of a nostalgic but now quality sort of to it. And I also wanted obscurity. Like I think with music, like so often I go to record shops a lot. I love a record store. Get out of the algorithm, you know what I mean? Like that sounds
Feel it with your hands.
because like I like when I can't find a song on like
Streamers.
streaming, if I find it in a place and I can't like Shazam it or something, or I can't like it's like interesting, and I feel like I was seeking out songs that you feel like you've heard them, but you've never heard them.
With like a little remix, just a little remix. It's like the familiar story with the remix.
Isn't that interesting?
I think that's why I asked it, because it's intentional and it reflects in the story and in the presentation with the rom-com in space with 2 leads, romantic leads that I never saw growing up.
Also,
in this particular movie.
And the chickens.
I gotta do one little quick shout out about that too. Like, fuck salsa, man. I got some salsa in there.
You got dancing. Listen, I'm running listen, real quick because I'm running out of time. I had a question just about the dancing. The dancing's on point.
Oh,
well done. We
you.
noticed it. The Puerto Rican in me came out.
Came out.
We got the last question because we got It's in Space. We got 60 interviews. I got William Shatner coming.
No way.
The man himself.
Today?
Yo, he was just in Atlanta yesterday. I saw him in Atlanta yesterday.
In 2 days he's coming. Do you have a question? Y'all have a question?
Yeah, I hang out with Will.
For William Shatner.
Yeah.
What album would he take to space?
Oh, yeah.
What was the role that got away?
Ooh.
Because William Shatner has a career.
Amazing career.
Yeah.
So the question is, over your entire, 50-year career now, what was the movie you wanted and somebody else got?
The Role That Got Away, the album You Take to Space. Kristian, take us home.
What was his favorite day on set on Star Trek?
What was his favorite day outside of Star Trek?
Is that weird?
That's not at all. It's a profound question.
And I own 3 of his albums.
3.
Oh, really?
Vinyl.
No
This
way.
is a old. You should be here for the interview.
William Shatner.
That's cool.
He sang. He did a lot of stuff, and you wrote novels.
You
all right? This is
really
about
did.
you all. This is about you all. But
Photograph.
Thank you,
it's
man.
next Thursday. We're gonna ask him your questions. Excellent questions. Congrats again. A South by
Thank you, man.
I was hanging
Southwest
out with him yesterday in
legend
Atlanta.
Aw.
with his first movie. Anthony, Zoe, thanks for being here. The
Thanks
movie
for
is
having us.
If You Were the Last. It premieres tonight, March 11th, South by Southwest, 6 p.m. at the Stateside Theater, and there will be 2 additional screenings. March 14th at 12 p.m. at the Paramount Theater, and March 16th at 12:30 p.m. at the Alamo South Lamar. You won't want to miss it. And Anthony has something to say before I leave.
Let them know the chickens and the goat will not be at the screening.
Okay? And they were not harmed. They
No
were not
animals
harmed.
were harmed
They're
in
living
the
their best
filming of
lives.
this
They were
movie.
very
Thank you all for
professional.
coming.
Thanks,
Don't
Anthony.
forget, all of our studio interviews are also live streaming during the conference on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/SXSW. Please tune in tomorrow. Our guests include actor Ewan McGregor, chef Jose Andre, author Cheryl Stray, director Robert Rodriguez, and a whole lot more. I'm your host, Wajahat Ali. Thanks for watching.